Welcome to another episode of Celebrity Mysticism, and I am Naya Moon. Before I start, this is all alleged, and let's get straight into it. Okay, so the first thing I asked was him and Biggie's beef real? And from what I'm getting from it, that at first it was not real. I feel like maybe the labels got them together and orchestrated it just to get some people to talking, um, to kind of get this rivalry. My nose, it just used me. This rivalry going in hip hop, you know, because Tupac and Biggie were both very, very great lyrical rappers. I feel like Tupac was more so of a poetic person, being that he was in poetry. So his was more so of visionary, whereas Biggie was just on some type time where he just wanted to rap. He thought it was cool, um, and started to kind of like take it serious. That's why I feel like everybody was kind of making him freestyle, but at first, no, the beef was not real. It was just something, like I said, orchestrated, and then it turned real when he ended up finding out that the person that shot him knew Biggie. And I'm hearing Puffy's name. Um, he said that he got in Biggie's ear and was making him paranoid, thinking that he was gonna come back after him after he had got shot. And he said at first he wanted to scare the shit out of him. He wanted to kind of teach him a lesson to not play with him in that type of way, on some street shit, when he just wanted to keep things music. But he said then they started making like threats and doing things and handling things on some street shit instead of it just letting it be hip hop and music. And he didn't appreciate that. So that's where that started. It just kind of was like a puff your chest out type situation, like who got the biggest balls type thing. Jada's book is not completely true. He said that he has a love for Jada, but he's never been in love with her. He thinks of her as like a platonic soulmate. She was never going to be nothing but his best friend. He has unconditional love for her, and he really wished that she would stop like using his name for like saying clickbait. He's also saying that they were never going to be an item or together. The point where he wanted to, he said that he feels she made the right decision marrying Will, because Will is more of her type of man. He is not really her type of man. They never were intimate, so if that's ever to come out, that is a lie. They never had sex. The most they did was kiss and I want to say hold hands at the most, the least, the most. That's it. If any rumors come out trying to imply that he's the father of her children, that is not the truth. He also wishes that his name would stop being thrown in the midst of all of their chaos and drama. He has his own things still going, especially with this case. I do feel like this case may be sealed at some point, because it's a lot of different things that are going to come out about what Keith D actually did, what Puffy actually paid him to do besides killing, putting the hit out on Tupac. There is some truth in it. Keith D didn't directly do it. but he's definitely going to take the fall for it. He said that Diddy will not get away with this because he started this shit. He is the one that started all of this shit, and everybody thinks it's Suge. And he says Suge is not completely innocent, and Suge did fuck him out of a lot of money and opportunities and things that he wanted to do movie wise, TV wise. We were actually supposed to get, I feel like, more books for him. He was supposed to do TV shows, more movies. He was supposed to do soundtracks to movies, books for children. I feel like he was even supposed to do more poetry books. I actually feel like he wanted to do like humanitarian things since he was, I want to say, taking on the whole Black Panther civilization type revolutionary vibe is what I'm getting. He wanted to build communities for children and safe places for women that were abused. It is a lot that was actually supposed to come out that's never we're never going to get to hear. Music wise especially, they're never going to release his music because it's too many things, I feel like, in those songs where he was talking about situations that could end up with a lot of people behind bars if they knew. About Aaliyah. It's also saying that Aaliyah will get her justice too. Like Kadia, I think her name is Kidda. I feel like that is who he actually was in love with out of all of the women he's ever been with. Her, and I'm hearing Jasmine Guy. I think that he really, really loved her and he really liked her as a person. He said Madonna really did support him. She might not have the best rep, but she held him down in his time of need. She did. It's like Snoop kind of sold out. He said that he loves Snoop like a brother, but he feels that he let them white people get to him. And Snoop could help him, but Snoop's not going to say anything. And he said he understands because he got to protect his family. But Snoop definitely knows what actually happened to him. And he does really wish that he could have mended their relationship before his demise. He said that Snoop really cared about him, his passion. He said that also him and Snoop made some of the best music together. They were a duo, like a match made in heaven for brothers, you know? So I feel like Suge Knight may come out and speak about the whole Tupac situation. He said that night was very fuzzy to him. He had been drinking, he had been smoking. He was not okay that night. He was very frantic. He said he was tripping. He did a lot of pacing. He was actually supposed to go to jail that night because he was fighting someone in the casino. He's also saying that that last picture that we see of him and Suge Knight in the car, the reason that he's looking like that is because he felt like Suge was setting him up. He was not okay. He was not okay. He was scared, but in the same sense, he said as a man, he was just, if that was going to be his time, he was willing to go ahead and just get it done and get it over with. But he was going to stand his ground and be a man. The rape allegations against him, he says he's forgiven that woman and those people. Um, he doesn't have any hate or malice in his heart for them. But the judges in those cases were being paid anyway. See, he was making too much sense to people that didn't give a fuck about our people. They did not care about us as a people. And he was doing something about it. I feel like a lot of his stressful moments came from him trying to better himself in his community, and he just kept feeling as if he was failing, because every time he did something that he felt like was righteous or was right, and when he was following his soul and his spirit, he would get in trouble for it. He would go to jail for it, or they would put something on him to lock him up, or he would always feel boxed in as if he was living in a prison. He had happy moments, but he had some very dark times in his life. That's why he was rapping about death so much. He could not believe some of the things that he was seeing as a black man go on within the industry. The way that they treated them, the way that they were treating him. It's past the money. He's like, his soul just wasn't feeling right doing it anymore. I honestly feel like it would have been a time, if he was still alive, that he would have stopped doing music and he would have just full been blowing like acting, or he would have been a really, really successful like writer here, like an author for books. I feel like he was going to be telling a lot of different stories about his life. I also feel like he wanted to create different books. A horror book, I'm hearing. I don't know if he liked the scary movies or not, but a horror book. I like the fact that he was speaking out. He said that he talked too much, and sometimes he should have been quiet and read the room. And saying something about Def Jam, he said that Def Jam didn't really care about him. He said none of these labels care about these artists. They just want to and treat them like slaves, put them on drugs, have them out there looking crazy, and to the public, I'm hearing they wonder why we are lashing out. They wonder why we are having these moments, and the truth is they're forcing us to have these moments. A lot of us were normal people before all of this wicked industry shit, and they're putting us in boxes. They're putting us in caskets. They're putting us in cells. They're giving us the hell. They're putting us in these hell homes when we can't get out. It doesn't matter what you do. You have to have some type of scientific knowledge to find loopholes within all of these things. He said he really did not enjoy his time on death row because they were doing too much. They were helping destroy the community and stuff instead of uplifting the community. They were doing things in a sense of unnatural, he said, orders, like some type of unnatural order, things that he felt like that's bullshit. That's not what we're supposed to be standing for. That's not what we're about. I also feel like he did not want to beef with a lot of people that he beefed with. He loved Nas. He's saying he loves and he respects Nas as an artist, and he kind of feels like his back was against the wall, and everybody was taking turns kind of like probing and poking at him. And he has to do something to let people know that I'm not to be fucked with and I'm not to be played with. I'm also getting a sense of where he moved a lot. He moved a lot. I feel like he changed his number a lot too. kind of felt like a lot of people were after him or watching him, and like a target was on his back a lot of his life. Confirming that the man that is saying that he's his dad is his dad. Said he never knew him and he thought that his father had died, but he knows that that is his real actual father, and he wish he had got a chance to meet him, because then maybe he would have guided him to be better and to save him from certain things and mistakes that he made in his life. He's speaking about how the cops are crooked. In the last couple of times, he was racially profiled when he was arrested. And he said those labels sent them after me. They tried to clone him, but it didn't work. He was trying to come out with a documentary, but I feel like the one that's actually supposed to be released that tells more information about him instead of what everyone already knows is sealed somewhere. They're not gonna let it be seen because I'm hearing something about political, and that he was speaking too much truth in it. So I feel like we're not gonna get to see that. And he's talking about the movies, and he's saying like it's nothing different in every movie that they're making. And he wished that they would tell more of what actually happened that night. I feel like they got him drunk as fuck. I feel like he died in a hospital. Though that's what a lot of people think, I don't feel like he passed in a hospital. I feel like they took him to another location. I don't feel like he died in that fucking hospital. They took him somewhere else. They took him somewhere else and killed him. He didn't die in that fucking hospital. He was supposed to go to like, I would call it like a shaman or something to get healed. Like, excuse me, a witch doctor or something to get healed, and they took him to a normal hospital because they wanted him to die. I feel like he was about to come out and tell about the fake beefs, the fake rivalries, and how these labels set them the fuck up. They know who they have real beef with. They know every single little thing about these artists before they bring them in. Jada knows something as well that she's not saying. He was telling her some things that was going on with him revolving his life and who really was after him. And at first, she didn't believe the shit that he was saying until I feel like maybe they met up or they talked over the phone and he was telling her what was going on. I'm not saying she knows everything, but she definitely knows something about his death that she's just not saying. He also kind of feels like her tears are kind of fake. I don't know why he's saying that, but I don't feel like they were cool like that anymore upon his passing. I feel like they had not been talking for almost maybe, I'm hearing maybe 2 years. They weren't talking, or if they were talking, it wasn't frequent. He said that Suge Knight was getting him into a lot of shit that he didn't want to be in, but he did it because it was Suge. I'm hearing something about gang wars. He said that he wished he would have listened to himself when it came down to all of them. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Because he felt like Suge Knight tricked him. He tricked him into using his talents for forgery. Contracts are coming up. And he didn't want to be a sellout. Though he kind of felt like he was, because he still made music to... I'm hearing atone for his sins, but he still made the music that they wanted him to make. They was paying him more to make more violent music versus him making that soulful music that he was making, like Dear Mama, Keep Your Head Up. And he wanted to continue to make songs like that. It really broke his heart when he had to go to jail for that false rape thing, because he feels like, you know, with all the love and respect that he has for women, they played on that and caught him at a very vulnerable moment. And he's never forced himself upon a woman. He's never really disrespected a woman unless provoked. I'm not getting the notion that he felt like he was right for doing so. But he's never done a lot of the shit that they was pinning on him as like a person. And it really hurt his feelings and his heart that he was being painted out to be this super egotistical man. And the reason why he switched up the tempo and got into more politics and wanted to speak out about truths is because he started to feel silenced. Say, if you go back and you look at all those old videos of me when I was in high school, I feel like that's when he was in that performative school, right? The things that he was speaking about is some of the same shit that he was saying when he became an adult. The only difference is now he had all those charges against him. So it kind of not defeated the purpose, but watered down his actual word. He had a very special soul. He was put here to be a different person, you know, to make a change, to enlighten people. And though he did that, and he was very fucking intelligent, his mistakes in life overpowered all of that. I feel like even if you go and maybe search his name, the first thing's gonna come up is his beef with Biggie, which he said he didn't even really want to do. He said that his hands was kind of tired and forced, and that his emotions took over, because after he got shot, he couldn't trust nobody. He couldn't trust a soul, and he just was like, fuck everybody. I also feel like someone may try to lie to him. Someone he was dealing with may try to lie on him and say that he gave them something, and that was not true. Maybe they were going to try to sue him, and he left their ass alone. He was in love with this other woman, it was a lot of people that hated on his light that was supposed to be his friends for some. Allegedly, they smoked his ashes. That's not some shit that he was happy about. And he felt like that was very disrespectful and like clown behavior, pretty much. Like cowardly. I'm also getting the notion that things didn't bother him because he knew that people were like fake. He knew that they didn't fuck with him and they were pretending to fuck with him, and that they were doing their best to bring smear campaigns to his life. I honestly feel like there would have been more lawsuits coming out about him had he been here from people who already had fucked up reputations that just wanted to make his life a living hell. A lot of people were stealing things that he was doing as well. His flow, his art. Maybe somebody may try to come out and release something that is actually his and say that will take credit for it. I also feel like he was having dreams about his death. It was like sequences. It was nights where he couldn't sleep, or he was waking up in cold sweats and just panicking. I feel like at some point in time, he also could not be alone by himself. Or if he was alone, it has to be with somebody that he really, really, really trusted. He says that Left Eye taught him a lot. She's one of his favorite people. And I also feel like she was trying to teach him how to become healthy. Like she was teaching him stuff. Things that he felt was important about life, about his decisions, about his habits, about his music even. I feel like she was really getting him together as a person, and she did contribute to his change. I also feel like I'm hearing something about a doctor, maybe. The doctor that was assigned to him when he was in the hospital, he did not like him, and the feeling was mutual. He said that doctor was full of shit. He didn't like that doctor at all. He felt like that doctor was trying to kill him, and that doctor was lacing him with something through that damn IV needle that they was giving him. He didn't trust him. Also said that when he found out about Eazy, he had his concerns about going into business with Suge Knight anyway. Because he was looking at it as, if you did that to him, what the fuck would you do to me? So there was already some type of trust issue there. He just remained kind of like quiet in the shadows about that. I feel like his mom was warning him a lot about Suge Knight, Diddy. And I also feel like she wanted him to squash the beef with Biggie. It was a lot of women fighting over him. And he was giving a lot of money out. I also feel like he encountered people where they were putting on facades like they were good people or they had this and that, and that's not what the fuck was really going on in actuality. I also feel like currently it's a woman in her head about him that's stressed out because she can't fathom the fact that not only is he gone, but she did something she feel like is a cause for that caused his death. Maybe set him up, or he didn't want her. I feel like this woman was stalking him and creating really bad issues for him. And that's another reason why he was changing his numbers and shit a lot. I also feel like he struggled with alcohol. And he was a heavy weed smoker, so that's something that I feel like he abused too much, and it kind of clouded his judgment. And he felt like every time he got happy, some bad shit was always coming, so he felt like he would never be happy in this lifetime. He felt like happiness was just a fairy tale, and it wasn't worth it. I also feel like he was in a lot of love triangles with women. He had a lot of lovers. He was with a lot of female artists, whether it be singers, rappers, actresses, you name it. Baby, he was dating them all. He had a very, very good time. He felt like they taught him how to tap into his divine feminine energy. And it's women that wish that they could still be with him and wish that he was actually still alive so they could at least have a shot. Like, just even to have a conversation with him. I also feel like I said, he was definitely stalked a lot. People were looking at him and trying to dig up information on him. To get information on him, buying information. Someone was selling information about him, kissing ass, doing anything that they could to be him. Be like him, act like him, rap like him, anything. Watching him in the darkness, praying on his downfall. It is even some people that was cock blocking him from certain women. And it's people that was doing and making shit up about him that he feels like they just wanted some attention, money, anything to get some type of compensation from using his names, whether it be blogs, magazines, women, men. I feel like some people that talk about Tupac has never even ever actually met him, sat in the same room with him, and they have bad things or stories to tell. Some of these stories that they tell about him are fabricated. They're not real. These people have never met him, never talked to him. They don't even know him. He was used as a source of entertainment, but he was not thinking that none of this shit was like funny. I felt like he was really trying to escape this life. Once he got what he needed, he just wanted shit to be over with. I feel like his time in the industry was running short anyways, because he just wanted to be in love. I feel like that's a feeling or emotion in a sense that he's never had completely, where he just felt loved and valued as a person, not the artist, not something that he can do for someone, not protecting the person, not even as a role model or an idol, but just Tupac the human. I feel like that was something that he obsessed over. He just wanted to be treated fair and to be loved, and he doesn't feel like he got that besides from his mother. But you know, a mother's love can only go but so far. He actually wanted that from a woman, and he felt like he got robbed from that. You know, with all those cases on him, um, it's just crazy. His spirit is really bothered by that. I also feel like he is happy that he's finally getting somewhat a piece of justice, but not completely, because the person that really did it, I feel like this person has either skipped town, he's out of country somewhere else, they didn't pay him off. I also feel like this person's an FBI agent. He was trained. This person is a very sharp shooter. He was trained. This was not a normal person that killed him. It was someone in the FBI that got hired, that had been watching him in his every move. And that night they had finally got him. It was a team of people, in fact. And I keep hearing something about a woman. A woman was involved. I don't think that she set him up, but she was definitely present. I felt like he stopped eating around a lot of people and drinking around them too, because he, again, trust factor, very bad trust issues. He said his death taught him about his life, the people in his life, the women in his life, the money. He said that if he could have guessed, or someone would have told him half of the shit that was gonna happen to him happened, he wouldn't have even believed them. He would have thought that they were full of shit and they were lying. And too much. It was becoming too much for him. And he had his concerns about his life. He really felt unsafe a lot of the times. And he prayed a lot because he felt unsafe. I feel like he did not go a day without praying. I don't feel like he was in fear. He just accepted his fate. And that's why, again, in his music, he talks so much about death, because he was just accepting it. He did not want to no longer fight to live if it meant him struggling. He felt like just to take a breath sometimes. When he woke up in the morning, it was not worth it to him. But he has some great memories, and he left a huge impact for artists, for his culture, for his people, for his fans, and for his family. And it saddens him how things are going right now in the world, but he is okay where he is. He likes it. He's not in any pain or sorrow. He's not trapped in hell, as some people would think. He's not. He's fine.